Hi there, my name is Greg Harradine, I'm a composer, and today I'm going to compose a piece of music for you in real time. I might fast forward through the boring bits, right? You don't want to sit here for an hour, but I'm going to compose for about an hour and come up with a short piano piece, a miniature. I'm writing a series of miniatures entitled Notes from the Attic, in which I write fairly tonal pieces that are inspired by music from the past. You know, I'm not trying to push fantastic new boundaries here and be very experimental. I'm using a normal tonal palette, nothing too crazy. So yes, I hope you enjoy this and we'll see what I come up with, right? I hope it's interesting. By the end of this hour, I hope to have an almost completed miniature, at least. Probably 2 pages of music. I'll write a bit down here, but I might not write it out in full. I might just make notes to myself as I go. Sometimes I compose at the computer, sometimes at the piano, sometimes I just don't write anything down and try to remember it, but that's always dangerous, right? And the first people that are going to hear this new piece will be my Patreon supporters. All my Patreon supporters get to hear all my new compositions before anybody else, 1 week before anybody else. So if you'd be interested to become one of my beloved crew of Patreon supporters, please go to patreon.com/Greg Harradine. And for as little as £3 a month, you can sign up. You get access to my full archive of sheet music and audio recordings of my compositions. There's well over 50 pieces there. I think there's more than 60 now, actually. And there's different membership tiers. You can pay a little more, get access to other things, such as exclusive update videos about what I'm getting up to in my life and my music that no one else gets to see, apart from my Patreon supporters. Also, you get to vote sometimes on aspects of my future compositions. And at the highest membership tier, you even get a personal commission from me each year written for you. So please check that out. Anyway, off I go. I'm going to compose a piano piece. Like I said, I'll fast forward through some of it, but I'll show you what I think, hopefully, are some interesting snippets along the way. So I've already decided I want this piece to be in the key of A, because I've written 5 of these miniatures so far for this series, Notes from the Attic, and I've used various keys so far, right? I've used 1 flat, 2 flats, 3 flats. I've used 1 sharp, 2 sharps. I want to use 3 sharps now, so A major, F sharp minor, right? So, and I think I want this to be not too slow, because my last few pieces have been on the slow side. It's nice to have a bit of variety. So I'm going to try to go not necessarily really upbeat, but on the medium to fast side, shall we say. I often come up with ideas just by improvising to start with. So let's see. I'm not sure if I don't think I'm in a major mood today, to be honest. So maybe this will be more F sharp minor. I do like minor 7th chords, don't you? Or what about with the 4th thrown in there? I quite like that. Okay, yeah, getting somewhere. I found a chord I like. Could have this slow rising melody. Obviously, some notes clash somewhat with the chord. That lovely 9th there, and then resolves to the 3rd or the 10th, the 4th, the 5th. Need it to move somewhere now. Need a new harmony. I mean, I am a sucker for, after using a minor chord like this, then going down 2 whole steps and going to the major chord. So if we're doing F sharp minor, going down to D major. It's a common enough move, but I can't help but love it. And since these pieces are, they're not trying to be outlandish or different. They're trying to use a tonal palette we're all familiar with. Maybe I will go to D of some kind. Let me see. Yeah, so I think I like going to D but keeping an F sharp in the bass. A bit more ominous, a bit darker. Now I've got to figure out what sort of D chord here am I going to do. I want to have some added notes here. I should also point out I'm trying to write these pieces so they're not overly difficult. Probably grade 4 to 5 standard, or even 3, intermediate, shall we say, grade 3, 4, 5, that sort of thing. So they're accessible to various piano students. I can't figure out this D chord. Let's keep going. Okay, it's developing. We're getting somewhere. So I've thought of moving from a time signature of 4/4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Just for that rising passage to get some harmonic development and a different sense of rhythm. A rising pattern starting on a nice kind of D chord there, with that added ninth, added E. And then go back to 4/4 with a little development passage in around F minor again, F sharp minor again. something like that. Then maybe back to 3. I like that falling pattern, and now that tune, I know I've stolen that little tune. Going da 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 da. But for the life of me, I've forgotten what it is. What's that from? They were here first. It's a song. Sometimes, it's okay to steal or borrow little passages. It's a kind of homage, right? And other people will think, oh, I recognize that, So maybe I'll keep it. And it will come to me, hopefully in the next hour, what it is, and I can tell you. Maybe then we'll do some higher stuff like that. Ooh, I like that. I wanted to get E minor in there somewhere, just to have a different sense, a modulation there. So we're making the G's natural instead of sharp. Okay, let me work on this a bit more. Okay, I've been just fiddling around trying to sketch out a harmonic progression, right? So, after the first section, we end with the sort of... Then we get into something like... that kind of thing. So we're modulating. The D's are now sharp as well, right? We're heading up. I haven't quite figured this out yet, but we end up. And then, wow, suddenly E minor. Yeah? I like that pattern. And then I just feel like I want it to rise a tiny bit. And I can see what to do. We're going to go from E minor with G's in the bass to G sharp minor with G sharps in the bass. So a semitone movement up, but we've still got B as the consistent note throughout both. And what I'm doing there is from E minor, I'm going E minor, down a step to D major and back. So it's going E minor, D, E minor, D in the different inversions. That's all E minor or D in the right hand. If I can play it properly. Same thing, G sharp minor, down a step to F sharp major. yeah? So the same theme. Like so, yeah. And we're still in 3, right? We're still in 3, no longer in 4. Then I'm thinking, bring back this little tune from earlier. Right, but we're starting on an A chord. So A major. We're not back in our key yet, right? So we were messing around with E minor, messing around with G sharp minor. Okay. So then, nice shift up a semitone again to A. And I'm trying to find chord 5. So if we're in F sharp minor, trying to get to C sharp major. And what about this, huh? How about this? Yes, we get a nice C sharp augmented chord. C sharp 7, and then we're back. Yes, we've modulated and we've come back. I mean, come on, I love doing that. It's nice quite often to modulate away and return. Again, what I'm doing, it's nothing new. It's very old-fashioned, actually. These kind of modulations have been going on for hundreds of years. So, let me just practice this a bit to get together what we've got so far. By the way, I've been working at this so far for 20 minutes. If you're interested, 20 minutes so far. Okay, I'll show you what I've got. I've been practicing this first, probably half. I think we're halfway through. I'm already thinking we'll repeat a chunk of it because there's been quite a bit of development. Nice to hear it again. Also, I only want this to be 2 pages maximum because I want it to be accessible to people. I don't want it to seem daunting if they're trying to learn it. So I'll have a go at playing it through. Be a bit patchy, so forgive me. we're back to F sharp minor, yes? So, rough ideas, we're getting there. The finished piece might not be exactly like this, but I'm happy so far with the general shape, the general form, the general melodic ideas and harmonic progression. You'll notice I've written nothing down because I don't want to waste time. I don't want to lose these ideas. I probably should write them down, but I'm recording them. That's another good way to do it, right? If you're in the flow, don't want to stop to notate, just record what you're doing, listen back later, notate it afterwards. Obviously, with a longer composition or a composition for more instruments, doesn't quite work like this. We kind of need to get it written down, right? Lots of people write straight onto the score, which I think is amazing. I occasionally do that. But I must admit, I love to just hear things on the piano, yeah? I'm not amazing at hearing things from the page. I can do it okay, kind of, yeah? But I'm happier playing things through. So, we've got our progression, yeah? Then you'll notice I ended back in F sharp minor. I'm thinking we have a repetition of a portion of this, right? So we have the beginning again. We have all that again. Now what I'm aiming to do then is to move this F sharp in the bass. What we had last time was instead of keeping that F sharp there, I think we'll get a bigger emotional hit the second time if we hear the D. Wow, it's richer, it's more emotional, it's almost a bit too much. Is it a bit filmic? Is it a bit like a film score? You know, one thing I don't like to do is to manipulate the listener's emotions too readily, too kind of obviously, right? Too cheaply. That's it. I don't want to get kind of cheap thrills, cheap emotional hits, right? I want things to develop in an interesting way, and if there is an emotional hit, for it to be earned, for it to have established itself in a way that doesn't feel cheap to me. So we'll see. Does this D, does it feel cheap going to? Is that too cheap? Well, I'll keep with it for now. So the second time, once we get to the end of that opening section, then I think we'll go into there, shall we? Let's see. Will we get back to there or something new? Let me figure it out. Okay, so I'm thinking something like we hear this, we hear then instead of going into the, I think we skip that bit. We move on, right? We go back to E minor in a different way. So we have a rising passage of E minor rather than a descending passage. I'm still figuring this bit out, but I think we've got it. I think we're going from D back to E minor, rising up, G sharp minor, sorry, A, but with a rising arpeggio in the left hand, something like that. Haven't worked that out yet, but the right's going to go, definitely going to do that, some kind of arpeggio. Then I want my C sharp major, doing a similar thing in the right. We're heading back, as you can see, to F sharp minor. And then some kind of return to the opening theme at the end. You know, the opening theme. I want to get that rising thing, and then, but I want it to be higher. Maybe I'll do it in 3/4 as well. But better than that, something different to that. Maybe I will go there. I like that idea at the end of having octaves rising up. With some filler in between. Not filler as in some nonsense, but filler as in some inner harmony. Maybe that nice clash of a seventh. Not entirely sure about that. Let me keep experimenting. Okay, so maybe this. So we kind of have a feeling of return, but a feeling of, is this the end? Because the right hand hints at the D sharp again, right? Not in this key. So we have, that's a, you know, a kind of F sharp minor 9 chord. And then, oh, there's that nice D sharp we can hear. Surprising, yeah? Drop down a semitone again. D natural, and then F sharp minor 7. And it's kind of inevitable when we hear that. If we're going to finish, we want an F sharp minor chord. We'll give the people what they want. I want that too. Okay, I think we're getting there. Let me practice a bit, work it through. Maybe I'll play you the full piece in a second. Okay, I'll show you what we've got. Still working through the end, but let's give it a shot. back to the start. Different now. And then, don't know this bit yet, arpeggios. Need to figure that out. Also need to figure out how to get into this ending. There you go, you see we've kind of got a composition in rough outline, a piano miniature. If you're interested, I'll just talk you through it again so you can see what I've pieced together and how, okay? So, key is F sharp minor, right? 3 sharps. Started off very much there with this nice chord I like. Yeah, it's F sharp minor, but with the addition of an E and a B, yeah? The 7th, and if you like, the 11th, yeah, or the 4th. Rising melody. What goes up must come down, suggesting a kind of D chord there. And then we have this rising set of chords: D, E, F sharp minor again, C sharp major, C sharp 7. And we've moved to 3/4. I like that change of meter. It makes you wonder what's happening. It almost pulls the rug out from under your feet for a second. So back to F sharp minor, just for a little while. I think 4/4 there. It could be 3/4. Maybe 3/4's better, not sure yet. Then we're back to, for the first time we hear what is that tune from? Isn't it from like a kind of, it's definitely from a song, like I don't know, I want to say like an alternative kind of acoustic type song. I'm sure the lyrics go, they were here first. I know that well. Someone tell me what that is. I've borrowed it anyway. Then we're getting into this new section, which is in 3. But we're hinting at a modulation. The Ds are being sharpened, right? Getting towards, from 3 sharps to 4 sharps. From F sharp minor, maybe we're heading towards E major. Yeah, C sharp minor. Let's see. Just a rising scale in thirds. Doesn't go where you might think it would go though. The Ds are only sharp the Ds are only sharp momentarily, which gives it a nice Dorian mode feel, right? The 6th note of the scale, usually D natural, has been raised by a semitone, which means it's kind of Dorian mode. Kind of folky feeling. Really like that. But we don't stay there for long, we end up E minor, yeah. Still got our F sharps there, alternating E minors and Ds, E minor chords, D major chords. The left hand was on G, now it's on G sharp. Same idea, but in G sharp minor. Yeah. G sharp minor, if we're there, lots of sharps, 5 sharps now, right? Potentially. But then, now the semitone movement, quite a few semitone movements, G sharp up to A. Then something like descending, yeah, we're having another, just like earlier. Right, that bit I've stolen, but it's up here now. And notice it's the inverse of the melody from the beginning. It's been turned upside down. We started off. Now we're going other way around. We hear our dominant chord C sharp major. That's what we wanted, back to F sharp minor. Then we're repeating the whole opening again. I'll just play it once more. I think I like that bit in 4 actually, because we've had the bit in 3. You know, we've had. So then I think back to 4. Then we get our stolen section, but this time the left hand's going to D, the root note of the chord. Then we're doing our E minor thing to G sharp minor thing, but rising instead of falling. And then need to practice that bit. A major thing again with an arpeggio I haven't quite figured out yet. And then C sharp major, C sharp 7. And then our ending, which again needs work. Not sure how to get this, not sure how to thread this needle here to connect it up at the end. But the ending will be something like. There we go. Hope that's been valuable and interesting. I mean, who knows? But you've seen me compose there. And I think that miniature is as well. It's 80% there, I'd say. I'm going to finalize it. My Patreon supporters will get to hear it first and get the sheet music. So please join me on Patreon. I'd love to have you there. As I said earlier, you get my full archive of music, mainly for piano, but for other instruments too. Well over 50 pieces, sheet music and audio recordings. And of course, you support me in my composition, which I can't stress enough how amazing that is and how beneficial that is to me. So thank you, and yeah, tune in again next time if you've enjoyed this. This is one of my 30 videos in 30 days for the month of September. I'm trying to grow my audience on YouTube, trying to reach 3,000 subscribers. So please subscribe if you haven't. Let me know what you think in the comments of this piece and my process of composition. Yeah, and look out for this when I share the proper piece when it's finished on YouTube. All right. See you next time.